So we're going to try to move this along as quick as we can. I apologize, the ACs are not working in the building, so we'll try to speed this up as quick as we can. I think nobody's going to feel it as much as me tonight. But anyway, I'd like to begin with something we do in martial arts. If you're new to martial arts, everything begins and ends with a sign of respect. If I can have everybody stand up in your seats. A sign of respect we do, it's a bow, similar to a handshake. In other cultures, you're going to put your feet together, hands by your side, back straight, lean forward, keep your chin up, and you can have a seat. Thank you for coming tonight, everybody. So the purpose of tonight's event is to celebrate, first and foremost, the students that achieve the highest goal in martial arts, which is black belt. We have 10 students who've been training for many, many years, and this summer accomplished the largest rank that our school puts out, the black belt. We also will have a performance by one of our adults, who most of you know, Mr. Bursu, who is not only a black belt from the academy, but traveled to Los Angeles this summer and successfully completed his black belt exam in Krav Maga. So he'll be doing a demonstration as well later. Throughout the evening, we're going to invite the classes to come up. We're going to recognize them for their hard work over the summer, and then we're going to finish up with some promotions and our Summer Olympic winning teams. So, with no further ado, we're going to get you started by introducing you to our Academy's XMA demonstration team. Let's give it up for the XMA team.
and the rest of the XMA team. Great job, guys. Great job. On behalf of McDonald's Academy of Martial Arts, we'd like to welcome everyone here today. We're here to celebrate our brand new black belt. So let's hear for our first black belt, Liz Anderson! Lucy Bingham! Will Drake! Joey Garrido!
A celebration that lasts throughout the years. So bring your good times.
Jasper Corliss!
We gonna celebrate your party with you. Come
Oliver Boyd Kirsty!
Let's all celebrate and have a good time.
Charlie Presley!
We gonna celebrate and have a good time.
Kevin Stewart!
Come together. It's up to you.
And Gregory Dickens! Ladies and gentlemen, it's not like this. Everyone please rise and help me congratulate our new black belt! Wow. Now we got our guests being seated as we turn the microphone over to Brian.
Very good. All right, so what you see standing before you tonight are the 10 students who accomplished their black belt this summer. Now, for those of you who are new, black belt is an extremely challenging test, the hardest test that our school offers. Their test lasted about 4 hours and 30 minutes or so. During the test, they were challenged in many ways, physically, mentally, emotionally. The purpose of a black belt test is to push students beyond where they think they can go, bring them to the point where they want to give up, and then have them realize that giving up is never an option. Perseverance is one of the most important characteristics of a black belt, and each of the individuals standing before you tonight faced that challenge and successfully conquered it. So let's give them another big round of applause. They'll be performing for you throughout the night. We'll do their promotions at the end of the evening, but for right now we're going to start with our youngest class, our Little Dragons class, and I'll turn it over to Mrs. McDonald to introduce them. Black belts, you can move backstage.
Okay, can we have all Little Dragons up on stage? One line, please, the audience. Okay, this is the foundation of our school. These students are ages 4 through 6. Like to perform for the audience tonight? You want to do Universal 4 for them? Yeah. All right, spread out just a little bit, give yourself some room. Now I'm putting them on the spot. They had no idea they were going to do Universal 4 until right now. So make sure you can see everyone. Ready? Everyone say Kempo Kata. Universal 4. And by my count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And show the audience your best horse riding stance, nice and low. And the star blocking set. Up, in, out, touch, down, back, push down. And take a big bow. And let's move my hand. Awesome job. And come on out here, girls. And let's give them a big hand on their dragon belt. Congratulations. You guys can go back in the line. You guys can go back into line. Go ahead. Okay, if you are a dragon belt, if you're wearing a yellow and white belt, take a big step forward. Very good. Take a bow. Let's give them a big hand. They've just earned their tiger belt. And we need one more tiger belt. And you guys take a big step back. We'll grab that, Alex. If you are a leopard belt, a red and white belt, take a step forward. And come on out here. And let's give Nevi a big hand. Good job. Okay, if you are a snake belt, Nico, come on out here. You just earned your camel belt. Take a bow. Let's give Nico a big hand. And let me have Daniel and Jacob take a step forward. Okay, these two are the highest rank in the class. They're a camel belt. And as you see, Jacob has a purple stripe through. So once you're a camel belt, you get different colors: yellow, orange, purple, blue. So they're working really hard and working their way towards the beginner class. Can you guys take a bow and give them a big hand? Okay, everyone take one more step forward so your parents can see you. Good, take a big bow. Give them a big hand, and let me have Alex come on over here.
Okay, little dragons, you can make your way back to your parents. Great job. The kids' beginners class, please make your way up to the stage. Move down here a little bit. Very good. So these are the kids that tested this week in our kids beginners class. The beginners class is also a foundational class. This class, the youngest is 7. The oldest is about 9 or 10. In this class, we give the kids the basics that are eventually going to be part of their black belt curriculum. We teach them stances, blocks, punches, kicks, and some basic techniques which we'll build upon in the intermediate class to form good, strong black belts. And over the summer, each one of these individuals standing before you accomplished every goal that we set for them in their class. And this week in testing, they did an unbelievable job, and we're very proud and excited to promote them all up to their next belt. So I want you to take a bow. Let's give them a big round of applause. If we can bring their belts up to the stage, please.
Okay, so we have a few awards to give out tonight. I'm going to start. The first award is for best effort. Now, these are always really hard decisions for us because we have so many phenomenal students. But this time this summer, this was pretty easy. It was very obvious. This person trained consistently all summer. Every time they came to the class, they were a model of putting forth 100% effort. When it comes time to just practicing independently, this person, you could see sweat pouring from their face. They worked so hard. So, the award for best effort, drumroll, goes to Daniela Suave Dedisa. Congratulations, you worked so hard in class every time. All right, you did all the way.
The intermediate class, please make your way on up to the stage. So this is our kids intermediate class. This is the same age group as the class that you saw before, but in this class, we're working on the curriculum that is required for black belt. In this class, over the course of about 1.5 years, the students will learn all the forms and all the self-defense techniques which will be required of them on their black belt test. This summer, they worked on one of the forms and 2 techniques, and by the time they leave the class into the advanced, they will have learned, tested on, and successfully be ready to move towards their black belt with all of our curriculum. You all worked very hard this summer. This was, I know, a challenging summer for you guys. Typically, summers are tough because you're in and out traveling and you have other activities, your schedule's broken up, but each one of you were very disciplined over the summer. What you learned in class, you clearly practiced outside of class because you performed phenomenally this week. I want to congratulate each one of you for a job well done. Take a bow, and if we can have your belts, please. Job. And for those of you who are green belts, you're earning degrees. So what you can do is at the end of the ceremony, you can meet us over at the table and we'll get the degrees for your belts. Let's take a bow and give them a big round of applause. So next we'll be inviting our kids advance.
On top of the world, your loving son.
Good, so you can push down this way a little bit, make room for everybody. Good work. All right, before I talk about the brown belts, if I can have everyone wearing a green belt, take a few steps forward. I want to single out this group here. There were 4 this week, we have 3 standing here today. I want to single out these individuals because this was a very challenging test that they took this summer. In order to test for their brown belt, they need to be able to demonstrate everything that they learned in the intermediate class. That's 5 forms and 14 self-defense techniques, which is a lot of material, especially to work on over the summer when they're in and out with their vacations and whatnot. This was a challenging test. It's challenging for everybody, and this typically can be a make or break period in a student's life. Not everybody's able to accomplish this, and where we see drop-off within the school is usually around this level. If a student is able to pass this test, we feel very confident that they have what it takes to make it to their junior black belt. The 3 of you did that this summer, and if you train very hard over this next year, 1 year from now, you'll be standing here achieving your junior black belts tonight. So I congratulate you on a job well done. If we can have the brown belts come on up to the stage, please. And you guys can take a step back. Okay, now the brown belts you see standing before you, it's 1 year between brown belt and junior black degrees, which are leveled, acknowledge them as stripes on their belt. Most of the individuals standing up here will be eligible to test in our next test, which is coming up this winter. We offer the test twice a year, once in February and once in August. So everybody is going to be testing within the year, whether it's this February or next August. But I want to encourage you to work hard. You're well on your way to earning your black belt. Take advantage of the new black belts. Talk to them what to do to train, what they feel was beneficial in leading up to that test. This is going to be a tough year for you, but I think each one of you has what it takes to be a black belt. Attention stance. And bow. Very good job. You can make your way back to your seats. We'll give you the degrees after the ceremony. So we have another award that we will be giving out, and this award is for Best Attitude. We just gave out Best Effort. Best Attitude. Okay? Over the course of this last cycle, we take time and we look at our students. We feel that the most important quality that a person needs in order to get their black belt is a strong positive attitude. We can take somebody who struggles in many different areas. As long as they have a strong positive attitude, there's nothing that can stop them from earning their black belt. We can take a very athletic, skilled individual with a poor negative attitude, and it's useless. They'll never make it. Attitude is a key ingredient to accomplishing the goal of black belt. So we'd like to acknowledge the person that we felt over this last testing cycle really stepped it up and was just a pleasure to have around the school. Not only worked hard, but had an infectious, positive attitude. And that person was Max Arcolano. Max, come on up here. Thanks to the audience, Max. Max, great job this summer. Okay, when we were talking about the awards, we had so many challenging decisions to make because so many kids had a great summer, but you in particular just really stood out. Every time you come to class, you got a big smile on your face. You always have something nice and encouraging to say. I want to encourage you to continue on that path. Always look for the good in people and in things, and you'll live a very happy life. Congratulations on your award. Okay. Okay, we have one other award to give out, and then we're moving on to our teens and black belts. The next award we're going to give out is for the student who was the most improved. Most improved. Now, each cycle we look at kids, and everybody obviously improves if they pass their tests because they're moving forward in their training. But we're looking for somebody that really stands out, that made a significant amount of progress over the last cycle. This person is in our teens class. And it is Andre Arroyo. Andre, please come on up here. Good job, Andre. Face the audience. Do you think you'd be getting this? Do you think you'd be getting this? Good. Andre's worked really hard, and we've been encouraging him along the way. He actually should be in our intermediate class, but we moved him up to the teens class because he's so big and strong. He's doing a great job in that class, and over this last summer, I've seen more growth from you than I've seen since you started at the school. So keep doing what you're doing, and you're well on your way to getting your black belt. Congratulations, Andre. Great job. All right, next, our last group before we move on to our new black belts. If I can have everybody in the teens class or anybody who's with the black belt class that earned their ranks this week, please come on up and line up across the middle. Good. So as you can see, we got all the way from white belt to black belt. Okay, within the teens class, it's a smaller group. They're a little more social. We put everybody together. We do separate the black belts. They have their own class because their material is obviously far more advanced. But as far as developing skills and getting repetition on basic skills, we like to keep them all together, training throughout the week. So this group, as they train throughout the summer, they work really well together. The black belts that you see before you be a little confusing. If you look at their belts, you see different colors. The goals with our black belts is to move them towards an adult black belt. A junior black belt is an age-appropriate black belt. But once they accomplish that, we encourage them to move towards the adult levels. So if you look at their belts and you see one yellow stripe on their belt, that means they're working on their adult yellow belt. If you see two yellow stripes, they've earned their adult yellow belt. If you see an orange stripe, they're working on their orange belt. They move all the way up. We have one person here that I would really like to highlight. Mina, if you can take a few steps forward. Yeah, Mina deserves a round of applause on that. So Mina has diligently been working at her adult green belt. Now the adult green belt is very similar to the brown belt in our kids program. It's typically the point that makes or breaks people. It's a very challenging test. She does over 50 self-defense techniques that she needs to commit to memory and execute properly. It takes the average person a good 6 to 9 months to be able to get to that particular rank. And it can become very, very challenging because often it's a journey that they're taking alone. There's not many kids at that level or adults at that level that are training. So you really have to have strong self-discipline and be committed to your goal. Mina did that. She's worked very hard for months. I'd say that almost probably a year. She's patiently pursued this belt. She's diligently picked away at her techniques, and she flawlessly executed them this week. Could not be prouder of you, Mina. Great job. You're on your way to adult black belt. Good. So those of you who earned your belts, Mrs. McDonald will hand them out to you. Everybody who's getting their stripes or degrees, you can receive those after the ceremony. Great job, everybody. Give another round of applause. You can make your way back to your seats.
Our Black Belt Performance will start. Superb, Liz, and Lucy.
I was choking in the ground, building my way up in the ground, falling like ashes in the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown, but they never did, heaven and government never did, limited till it broke up and it rained down,
Now we'd like to invite Charlie and Oliver to the stage.
Okay, parting waves, go! Delayed sword, go! Crescent salute, go! Snap and quake, go! Breaking mace, go! Five swords, go! Leaping crane, go! Grip of death, go! And leap from danger, go! Woo! Let's give Charlie and Oliver a hand.
Now we'd like to invite Joey, Will, and Greg to the stage. Let's give Will a hand. Let's go ahead. That's right. Nice job, guys. And now we'd like to invite Kevin and Jasmine to the stage.
Get ready? Kevin? Get ready? And 1, 2, break! One, two, break! Ready? 1, 2, break! Ready? 1, 2, break! Kevin and Jasper. Okay, if I can have all of our new black belts please come on up to the center of the stage. So your best attention stance. All right, that was quite a performance from all of you. Let's give them another big round of applause. So in choosing their performances tonight, we look at the kids' strengths, we try to highlight them, and we try to have some variety in it so that you can see the different things that we work on in accomplishing this gold black belt. In the promotions, we're going to call them up one at a time and just have a few words to say about each before we promote them to their belt. And I'd like to start with Joey.
Woo, Joey.
Joey, face me. You see your best attention stance. Good. I'm so excited to see you here tonight, Joey, and I can't wait to promote you to your black belt because there's a huge success for you. Before I do, I just would like to speak briefly to you about failure and success, because they're things that we all have in common. Everybody experiences them. One of the misconceptions about failure and success is that it defines us. It doesn't. It's just the result of our effort. Sometimes we succeed and sometimes we don't. What's important, though, is that we realize what lies behind it and that we learn from it. Whether we succeed or whether we fail, as long as we learn from it, we continue to grow. And that's what molds our character. And life is a journey where you're going to use these experiences to develop your character. 6 months ago, you experienced a pretty significant failure. You came to your black belt test, you came prepared, you did your best, you ran into some obstacles that challenged you, and you weren't able to came back to class the very next week or 2 weeks. You came in, you met with me, we had a conversation, we talked about what went wrong, we figured what you could do differently, and you did those things. You listened carefully, you learned from your experience, you worked just as hard, and 2 weeks ago, 6 months later, you came back in and you went after that test again. You went into the same test, you experienced the same challenges, only this time, you didn't let it beat you. This time, you beat those emotions and you overcame those challenges. You achieved a huge success. What I want you to take from this, though, is even though we're celebrating your success, I don't want you to forget about the failure, because you wouldn't have had this success without it. The two often go hand in hand. It's all how we look at it and how we interpret it. And as you move through life, you take that approach to the different experiences that you have, whether they're good or bad. If you learn from them and grow from them, they're all worth it. And had you not had that experience last summer, you would not have had as good of a black belt testing experience as you did 2 weeks ago. You stand here as a strong and hopefully proud, accomplished black belt. I'm incredibly proud to promote you. Awesome job.
For about 9 months, you began your journey. Now, you both have so much in common. You're very focused, you're respectful, you're poised, and you show great self-control. So I feel like many of your martial arts skills have come fairly easy for you. Okay, you're talented and smart and strong, but I saw you face your biggest challenge that morning of your black belt test. Do you know what it was? Well, you're facing your fear. So there's a quote over the door at our studio, and it says, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face." And that's what you did that morning. You didn't run, you stayed, and you fought through it, and you became victorious. And I never want you to forget that. Okay? You are so talented, and I am so proud of you. Congratulations. Well done. All right, sit down.
Sapure. So Sapure, what I wanted to mention to you, what sort of stood out to me, is this idea of crossroads. Life is filled with them. The crossroad is when you come to a point where you have to make a decision, and that decision is going to affect the trajectory of your life, where it's going to end up, or where you're going to travel to. You faced a crossroad about a year and a half ago when you tested for your brown belt the first time. You wrote about it in your paper. It was a very challenging time for you. You came into the test, you weren't quite prepared, you didn't have a good experience. You're very honest in your paper as you wrote about how you went home, the emotions that you had, how you were upset, and how you declared to your mother, I'm going to quit karate. Your mom's response, according to your paper, quitting is not an option. Now, I imagine it was a much bigger conversation, maybe more spirited than those few words. You were much more focused. You took the journey a lot more seriously. You diligently picked away at every piece of material that was expected of you, and you were extremely successful the second time you tested. I saw you transform over that period into a far more confident and disciplined person, and that's what prepared this road to black belt. As you moved through your brown belt year, you dealt with it very differently than how you dealt with your first brown belt test. You learned from that and you grew from it. Now, when I talk about crossroads, the obvious one is you're probably thinking, well, the crossroad was I was faced with the decision, do I quit karate or do I stay with karate? But that's not what I'm talking about. And the crossroad that I'm talking about wouldn't come from you, because if left to your own, you declared you would quit karate. The crossroad came from your mom. Your mom challenged you to continue on the path. Now, I know a lot of kids that have been in your position and they don't listen to their parents. They have their own thoughts and they have their own, the older you get, the more opinionated you get. But what you did is you took the time to listen to the person who loves you and knows you well, and more importantly, knows more than you. You trusted her, you took her advice, and now look where you're standing today. Moving forward in your life, remember that lesson. Seek out people who know more than you and who deeply care, know, and understand you. And if you listen to the counsel of those people, you'll have a lot of experiences just like this one. Congratulations, you made an excellent job.
Okay, can I have Liz come on out? Okay, Liz, you are resilient. You have faced many challenges in your martial arts journey and you never quit. You proved to yourself that when the going gets tough, you persevere. You had a really good friend start karate with you, and she quit, and I know that was a loss to you. And you've had scheduling conflicts, and you had to juggle your softball games and practices, but you've always remained loyal to your martial arts training and committed to it. I'm just so proud of you. That perseverance really shone through in your black belt test. When you went toe-to-toe, sparring our adult black belts, they really do, and you never shied away. You just nailed it. I want to quote what you wrote in your black belt paper. All I can say for sure is that karate has been one of the most difficult, empowering, and overall rewarding experiences of my short life. Liz, I'm confident whether it's academics or you're on the field playing sports, you are going to shine through. You are a shining light of perseverance, and you're going to be successful in all areas of your life because you can do that. Congratulations.
Kevin, come on up here. Okay, now, a little bit about Kevin. Kevin hates the spotlight, literally. He's not a big fan of putting himself out there in front of everybody, yet he's a really hard worker. And one of the challenges of black belt is putting yourself out there, getting out in front of large groups of people like this. One of the first things Kevin wanted to talk about as we discussed this journey to black belt was participating in the Black Belt Spectacular. And I said, let's get through the black belt test before we talk about the Black Belt Spectacular. But here you are, and you performed very confidently tonight. And that's a result of the lessons that you've learned and implemented into your life over the years. You've heard many of us, or Tara and I, talk about the paper that they write. We ask all of the students going for black belt to take some time and reflect on their journey, learn from the experiences that they've had, and not just let it wash by. By writing a paper, they're forced to sit and think through their whole journey. And Kevin, I have to say, one of the most impressive things that I experienced in your test was your paper. You had a lot of very interesting insight into your experience and things that I wasn't even aware of. I know the challenges that you've faced over the years, and this hasn't been an easy journey for you. And we've discussed a lot of those challenges along the way, little benchmarks of ways we could improve in different areas. But in reading your paper, I didn't realize how deep it actually went. And each step of the way, you took very seriously the lessons that were being taught to you, and you meticulously worked your way through some very challenging times. And you emerged from the whole experience a very strong, very confident black belt. Even though you may be unassuming and you might not enjoy the spotlight, when you step into it, you shine. You did a fantastic job on your black belt test. I've never seen you perform more fiercely and more aggressively, and I'm proud to count you as one of my black belts. Congratulations, Kevin.
Okay, let me have Greg take a step forward. Okay, Greg, you stated in your black belt paper that karate has taught you some very good life lessons. Well, I feel like you have modeled those lessons for your classmates. Talk about hard work. You put forth your best in everything you do, and you push through any physical challenge. Determination, your determination is admirable. When you wanted to participate in the XMA set with your nunchucks, and I wasn't quite sure, what did you do? You practiced for hours and hours and hours and came back to the studio, and I was so impressed. And to all your friends at the studio, you are an honorable person. You have stood by them and helped them, and you know that they would do the same for you. You're an outstanding martial artist, and I'm so proud to promote you to your black belts. Congratulations.
Charlie. Charlie, I want you on our leadership team. Okay? I really do. Because you're somebody who, when you come to class, your attitude is infectious. You're a real hard worker, and you persevere, and you're disciplined in all of your personal training. But your interactions with the kids and the teachers in the class, you're always extremely encouraging, you're very positive, you're supportive, you're the first to offer to volunteer to work with somebody who needs extra help. You're very quick to take the time to work on the things that aren't as exciting or aren't as fun, but are going to improve your skill set. You're somebody who, I believe, if given the amount of time and maturity, you would make a great teacher someday. And I think if you get involved in our leadership team, you can help a lot of kids at our school accomplish what you accomplished. In thinking about all your gifts and your abilities, there was one specific thing that I wanted to mention here tonight, and it's your ability to delay your gratification. Okay? It's about 6 months ago, you were eligible to test for your black belt test. Okay? We discussed it a few times, and you were not quite sure. Okay? And I wasn't sure why. The last conversation that we had, you said that you wanted to wait. And when I asked you why, you said you thought you needed more time. Okay? I respected that. Okay? However, I pondered, why doesn't he want to test? Sometimes kids don't want to test because they're afraid and they want to put it off. But that's not you. I've never seen you do that before. It's not in keeping with your character. I didn't think that was it. And then I thought, well, maybe he feels like he doesn't know everything that he needs. So I tried to confirm with you, yeah, you look good, you got all your stuff, but you still wanted to wait. And then it dawned on me that you have this unique gift that is lost on many people today, myself included. Okay? We live in a world where we get what we want very quickly. And it's easy to get what you want quickly and not get enough of what you want. If you take your time and you work all the angles around your goal is that much richer. And that's what I saw you do over the last 6 months. If you had tested last whatever it was, February, I believe you would have passed and you would have done a good job. What you did 2 weeks ago was outstanding. And I don't believe that you would have been capable of performing at that level 6 months ago. But by delaying your gratification, by taking your time, by working all those angles within your curriculum, you refined everything and you shone on your test. And if you continue to live your life that way, all the rewards that you receive will be that much richer. Okay? When you wait for things, it's so much sweeter. Congratulations, this was a huge accomplishment. I'm proud to promote you, and please join our leadership team.
Okay, let me have Jasper, come on up here. All right, Jasper, I want to quote you first from your black belt paper. I feel that karate has really changed me as a person since I started, and I completely agree with that. Over the course of your training, I've seen you emerge into a strong, fast, self-disciplined, and confident student. As you know, 30 days prior to your black belt test, we do an evaluation, okay? Sometimes we say, yes, you should test. Other times we say, no, you need to wait. And sometimes we just say maybe, but you need to work on this or that. Well, Mr. McDonald gave you a few things to work on, and you went full steam ahead. I've never seen you work so hard. That is determination at its best. You know how to set a goal, work really hard, and accomplish it. You were exceptional on your black belt test, and I'm confident that whatever you put your mind to in life, you're going to be successful with. Congratulations, Jasper. Well done.
Will. So Will, in reading your paper, I know I learned this at one point, but I had forgotten that you didn't start karate with us. For a period of time, and then some things happened, you became dissatisfied, and you left. And it was at the recommendation of a good friend of yours, who happens to be one of our black belts, that you decided to revisit that. So the beginning of your story wasn't actually with us. But thanks to one of our black belts, your story is continuing with us. So in promoting you, I would like to invite that person, your friend, and our black belt, Oscar, up to the stage. Oscar's here. I bring Oscar up because I see how valuable your friendship is. Okay? I've watched you two over the years in class work together and help one another and support one another. And in your paper, you wrote, if it wasn't for Oscar, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So he gives you a lot of credit. Okay? Good job. You did a fantastic job on your test. You're also the only person from the teens class standing here. And I think that's worth mentioning because you're at a different place in life. And an accomplishment for you is different than the accomplishment for them because your life is moving at a different pace right now. Your academics have picked up, they've become more rigorous. Your athletics have picked up, they've become more demanding. I know with your hockey schedule, you ran into some challenges. Your social life is changing. So it's a time in your life when finding the time to work on martial arts can be challenging. Yet you've done that and you've gone above and beyond. You're a valued member of our XMA community. You're also one of a very few select people who we've invited to be on our leadership team prior to earning their black belt. You are a true asset to our school. We love having you around helping the kids' classes. We love having you up on stage representing our school, and we're very proud to promote you up to your junior black belt. Congratulations on this big step in your journey. Down here.
Okay, let me have Oliver come on up here. So Oliver, you began your martial arts training at the age of 5 in California. And we're so grateful that when you moved here, you found our studio. You have such a positive attitude. I don't think there's a day at the studio I haven't seen you with a smile on your face. That's pretty impressive. You're very optimistic and willing to take a risk, whether it's starting a new martial arts school like ours, participating in karate camp, or enduring a 4.5-hour black belt test. I have to tell the audience what you wrote in your paper because I'm so impressed. Now I am thousands of miles away from where I started my karate journey, but my journey is still great. Sometimes it has been hard, but that is what I like. You realize at such a young age that when you face a challenge and you have a positive attitude like you do, you can only grow and become successful with it. I am so proud of you. Congratulations on earning your black belt. This is Hannah, our daughter, if you haven't met her.
All right, so before we make a few final announcements, dismiss everybody and give out the awards, we have one more presentation that we'd like to show you. I'm going to need all the new black belts to move either back or to the sides of the stage so you don't get hurt by the tornado that's going to make its way across the stage here in just a moment. So everybody move back or move to the sides, give yourself a little bit of room. So as you heard me mention at the beginning of the ceremony, one of our oldest, as in longest, students, and is now my most accomplished black belt, Julian Bersu, is not only a black belt in our discipline, a third degree black belt in our discipline, second degree black belt, I'm getting ahead of myself, we'll get there. Second degree black belt in our discipline, but he traveled out to Los Angeles after how many years? 8 years he's been working towards his black belt in Krav Maga. It is, and I speak from experience, the most challenging thing I've ever gone through in my life. And Julian just did it, and he was extremely successful at it, and he's going to showcase for you a little bit of his skill set. This is going to be, we call it in Krav Maga, a circle of death. It is completely spontaneous. It's not choreographed. He's going to be attacked by a few brave individuals, and with a certain level of control, he will execute his techniques. Good luck, Julian. Let's hear it for Julian. All right. Julian, come on up here. I gotta say see you later. So I mean that. You are now my most accomplished black belt. You've done more than anybody I've ever trained. You're not the highest rank in Kempo, but you've expanded beyond Kempo. And the way that you've represented our school and to the Krav Maga community is impressive. And they speak very highly of us because we produce quality people. And you are now one of those quality people that they will be speaking very highly of for many years to come. You make me so proud. And I'm so glad that you've continued, even though you've moved on in your life, you've been able to continue to find a way to make your training here at our school fit into your life. And I'm so glad, I'm so proud, and I'm honored to have you as my student. Great job, Julian. Okay, and there's one other person I would just like to acknowledge real quick because I've missed the opportunity to do it in the last couple of ceremonies, is Suzanne Fabrizio here. Suzanne, if you're here, just stand up. You've just been a blessing to our business and you've been a blessing to our family. So I want to thank you for all you've put into our school. We appreciate it. All right, so no further ado, we're going to wrap things up here. If I can have a black belt.
Summer Olympics.
Awesome. Well, she's finding the Olympic team points. I'm going to just give out a few quick announcements. At the end of the ceremony, we have across the hall, the cafeteria. You can help yourself to food. But one thing that we ask is please don't bring anything back into the auditorium from there. The janitorial staff, which have always been very good to us, so the one request that they make is please don't bring food into this room. Classes go back to schedule next week. We go back to our regular class schedule on Monday, and then our Saturdays will kick in a week from tomorrow. So we'll give everybody the day off tomorrow, and we'll start out fresh on Monday. Okay? Did we find them?
I have it on my phone. All right, in 5th place with 1,952 points, 1,952 points, the red team. Let's give them a hand. In 4th place with 2,065 points, the blue team. In 3rd place with 2,067 points, the white team. And drum roll, please. In 2nd place with 2,071 points, the yellow team. The green team took 1st place with 2,346 points. So once we dismiss you, trophies, ribbons, medals are over there at the table. Make sure you pick those up.
All right. We're going to end with a sign of respect that we began with. Unless, oh, sit down, sit down. Sorry.
Thank you guys so much for helping us achieve our black belts.
Your encouragement and guidance has helped us along all the way.
Thank you. Well, thank you, families. A lot of what goes on behind the scenes here, too, for these ceremonies is the parents of the black belt family. So I want to thank you all for your effort these last 2 weeks in getting this event ready. So thank you very much. If I can have everybody stand up, show me a good attention stance. We're going to begin with that sign of respect that we're going to end with that sign of respect we began with. Good attention stance, feet together, hands by your side, back straight, chin up, lean forward and bow. And thank you all for coming tonight. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week.